There was a time when listening to music meant more than just tapping a screen or asking a smart speaker to play your favorite song. Before streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music, before iPods revolutionized portable music, there was the CD player, a device that felt like magic in the palm of your hand. For many of us who grew up in the 1990s and early 2000s, owning a CD player wasn't just about having access to music. It was a personal experience, a ritual. Whether it was burning the perfect mixtape onto a blank CD, flipping through your collection to find the right album for your mood, or carefully placing a disc into your Walkman before heading out for the day, these moments defined a generation. But how did CD players rise to such prominence? What made them so iconic? And why do they still hold a special place in our hearts? Let's take a deep dive into the golden age of CD players, exploring their origins, their peak, and how they ultimately faded into nostalgia. Let's break it down, right here, on History of Simple Things. To understand the significance of CD players, we first have to go back to the early 1980s, when CDs, compact discs, were introduced to the world. Before CDs, music lovers had to rely on cassette tapes and vinyl records. Each had its own drawbacks. Tapes required rewinding and could easily get tangled. Vinyl records offered great sound quality, but were bulky, fragile, and not exactly portable. Then, in 1982, Sony and Philips teamed up to create the first commercial compact disc. It promised crystal-clear digital sound, no rewinding, and a longer lifespan. The first CD player, the Sony CDP-101, launched that same year, marking the beginning of a new era in music consumption. At first, CD players were expensive, and the selection of CDs was limited. But as technology improved and production costs dropped, more people started making the switch. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, CDs had completely overtaken cassettes as the preferred format for music. If you were around in the 1990s or early 2000s, you'll remember just how massive CD players were. From home stereo systems to boom boxes to the legendary portable CD Walkman, these devices were everywhere. For music lovers, a CD collection was a point of pride. Flipping through your binder of CDs, admiring the cover art, and reading the lyrics in the album booklet, it was all part of the experience. The sound quality was crisp, the music was easily accessible, and unlike cassette tapes, CDs didn't degrade with repeated use. One of the biggest game changers of this era was the Sony Discman, later rebranded as the CD Walkman. It gave music lovers true portability, allowing them to take their favorite albums anywhere. But of course, there was one small problem: skipping. If you moved too much, your CD could skip or even stop playing altogether. It wasn't until anti-skip protection was introduced that portable CD players became a true on-the-go companion. CD players weren't just about personal listening, though. They were a social experience. Whether you were trading CDs with friends, burning custom mixtapes, or blasting music from a boombox, music was something to be shared and experienced together. And let's not forget about CD burning, the ability to make your own personalized CDs. When computers with CD burners became more common, suddenly everyone could create their own mixtapes, copy albums, and even burn their own music. It was a revolution in music sharing. But, as we all know, nothing lasts forever, especially in the world of technology. CD players might have dominated the 1990s and early 2000s, but their downfall was inevitable. The first sign of trouble came in 2001 with the release of the Apple iPod. Suddenly, you didn't need a CD collection or even a physical device to hold your music. You could store thousands of songs on a device that fit in your pocket. Then came MP3 players, digital downloads, and later, streaming services. As internet speeds improved, downloading music became faster and more convenient. Instead of carrying around a bulky CD player and a stack of discs, you could just plug in your MP3 player and have an entire library at your fingertips. By the late 2000s, CD sales had started to decline rapidly, and CD players were being phased out. Cars that once came with CD players now featured aux inputs or Bluetooth. Home stereos evolved into wireless speakers. Even computers stopped including CD drives. What was once a cutting-edge technology became a relic of the past. Why CD players still hold a special place in our hearts? Even though CDs and CD players have largely faded from the mainstream, they haven't disappeared completely. In fact, vinyl records have made a massive comeback, and many believe CDs could experience a similar resurgence. There's something about physical media that digital music just can't replicate. Owning a CD means owning a tangible piece of music history, an album in its full form, with its original artwork, track list, and lyrics. It's not just a collection of files, it's an experience. For many, CD players symbolize an era of music discovery that felt more personal. Before algorithms and autoplay features curated your playlist for you, you had to actively search for music, whether by browsing a record store, borrowing a CD from a friend, or stumbling upon a hidden gem in a bargain bin. The era of the CD player may have come and gone, but its impact on music culture is undeniable. For those who lived through its golden age, it represents a time when music was more than just a background soundtrack. It was something to be collected, cherished, and shared. So, whether you still have a box of old CDs stashed away, or you've recently dusted off your old Walkman for a nostalgic trip down memory lane, one thing is certain. CD players will always have a place in the history of music technology. And who knows? Maybe one day they'll make a comeback in ways we never expected. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.